Hello YouTube. I promised myself I'd make this video. It's going to be one of my last Halloween videos, which is sad because tomorrow is pretty much, well, probably by the time you're going to be seeing this video, it will be Monday. I'm actually making this video on All Hallows Eve, which is tonight, which is the October 30th, 2016. I wanted to make this video real fast because, you know, it, one of my YouTubers that I followed, Dorian, he was making a video, and he released one of his like EPs from his new album, and he's also going to be releasing another song tomorrow night for his friend Gretchen, and I'm looking forward to it. It was a beautiful, beautiful song, inspired by Poppy Zedbright. And he was talking about, the true meaning of Halloween isn't just all the spookiness and the fun and the trick-or-treating and stuff. That's something that got started by the candy companies. The true meaning of Halloween is honoring the dead and remembering your ancestors. And I kind of want to I want to talk about that. Some of the most happiest, I'm going to talk about, my memories of Halloween. Try not to get too mushy, Some of the most happiest memories of my life was Halloween time. I had a rocky childhood, I went through a lot of personal stuff. And it just it was a difficult time for me, but some of the most happiest times of my life was Halloween time. Growing up as a young kid, Halloween was always a thing with us kids and with my parents. So, my parents never really had a problem with Halloween. It was always a primal holiday that we, celebrated. And I looked forward to it every year. I was a kid that always thought about Halloween. 365, I was always thinking about Halloween even in the middle of summertime. And even though I've suffered domestic violence and stuff like that, I have had really good times with my parents. And like I said, the most happiest times of my childhood was Halloween. Every year I pretty much dress up as a witch. I was very obsessed with witches when I was a little kid. I'd run around in a witch hat and a witch's dress that my grandma bought me, and I loved it, and I would wear it even in the middle of summertime. And I could not understand why all the other little boys were calling me a faggot and a queer. I thought there was nothing wrong with it, and I still don't, but I was not aware of people's mindsets and how hateful people were. And I always thought, what's wrong with a boy wearing a dress if he wants to? So I was really obsessed with that. I would always put a broomstick on my swing set and pretend like I was a witch ascending into the sky and flying away. I loved The Wizard of Oz. I grew up watching, movies like The Wizard of Oz with the Green Witch. I grew up watching The Craft. I grew up watching Hocus Pocus. The Witches of Eastwick with Cher. And Jack Nicholson. I grew up with Charmed, and I just grew up with a lot of movies with witches in them, and I just was so obsessed with them. And for me, every year, it was just a tradition to dress up as a witch. And I remember just good memories of, going over to my aunt's house on Halloween night and just smelling the aroma of warm pumpkin spice and maple, and feeling the cold chilly air. And oftentimes it did rain, and it would fog up the windows, and settle in. And I would also help my aunt pass out candy, and she had these cute little paper bags with Halloween monsters on them or whatever, and it was adorable. And every year I would just pass out candy to the trick-or-treaters after I trick-or-treated her neighborhood. It was really fun for us because the autumn air was just very perfect. It was very chilly and very breezy and windy, and it would get really, really, really dark. And as we ascended into, the night for trick or treating, it was just a really cool experience because everybody's house was decorated. There was jack-o'-lanterns on every corner. The smelling of pumpkin flesh burning from the candles. And, just hearing, laughter and cheer and happiness throughout the whole entire, place. And, and it was just a really, really magical experience. Because Halloween was an excuse for me. I didn't like the reality that I was in because it was so bad. But Halloween was that escape for me. And it always has been. Even though I'm an adult now, and even though, I know that, a lot of that stuff isn't real, I still have moralistic values. I think Halloween, in general, it's a celebration of death because death is life. It's to live your life to the fullest, knowing that you are going to die. And it's just something that was just so inspirational to me growing up. And I think, it is a lot easier to die and to wither away and become a memory than fight up against the tide in life. But, it's something that I'm willing to do. I'm, even through the hardest times of my life, I'm willing to fight through the negativity. I'm willing to live my life to the fullest and do what I want. And I think that's the real spirit of Halloween, and it's always spoke to me. And it was no shock that I kind of became enveloped into becoming a Gothic person. And also, some of my other best memories was at my grandmother's house, who unfortunately passed away in July. And it's kind of hard because those were like really, really, really good times. And I looked forward to, decorating her house. And like she would always like buy her costumes and stuff. And I remember, just looking at her windows and how she had like all of these window clings up and how the fog would just make them fall off all the time. And just seeing her, cute witches and stuff and fiber optic witches throughout the whole entire house. And trick-or-treating in her neighborhood. Like I said, Halloween is a very, very dear and happy holiday. I think every single day should be celebrated like Halloween. In the sense of, looking at death as a celebration of life. Being thankful that you are alive. And I think that's the spirit of Halloween. That's the spirit of life. But, I do want to celebrate this holiday not only for the spooky and fun and warmth of the holiday, enjoying Halloween films and candy and costumes and parties and laughter and friends and frights and thrills and sights and smells and sounds, as much as it is a lovely, lovely, lovely holiday. This Halloween season, I want to honor my ancestors. I want to honor the people who have been there from the beginning of my life and helped me become the person I am today. So, sorry for like almost crying. But yeah, I kind of wanted to get that out there. But yeah, that's what Halloween means to me. It's a very, very sentimental time for me. It has a lot of nostalgia. a lot of very good memories. And like I said, Halloween in itself holds a lot of ghosts and a lot of good memories. So until next time, guys, thank you for watching. Bye, and happy Halloween.